Oh, we start right on top of him. Okay, this is where the game gets good. And the reason why I say this is where the game gets good is, well, this is kind of the perfect example of how we make good hunts. Oh. Oh, here we go. Dude, that is cool, man. Monster Hunter is a really hard game to get into, and I feel like a lot of that is like the game starts very, very slow, and by slow I mean incredibly slow. Like, you'll fight some of the most boring monsters first. Like, it's kind of crazy how boring the beginning of the game is, and that's part of the reason why every time a new game comes out, you have a billion people like calling it out for being really boring and bad. Oh, you're getting destroyed, buddy. I'm getting destroyed, bucko. Oh my god, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I'm so bad. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna die. Oh my god, no. One of the reasons why early game is so bad is because the monsters. It's so basic. So you might be asking me, what goes into making a good monster then? Well, here's the first thing. To make a monster good is you have to have some inspired design. You have to give him some sauce, you know? And you'll see with all the like fan favorite monsters, all the best monsters, right? Monsters like Zinogre, and especially with the Elder Dragons, you'll notice a lot of people's favorite monsters are the Elder. Oh my god, he missed. And the reason that is because it's so inspired. You have like Chameleos, who's a chameleon dragon that goes invisible and spits poison. Is like the poison element. And then you have Valstrax, which is like a jet airplane crossed with a dragon with these crazy huge wings that he uses for his attack. So like I was saying, a lot of these designs go into the fights themselves and become the reason why the fights are so cool and interesting. You have Zinogre, who's like a werewolf dog, right? Who uses wrestling moves and lightning to attack you. It's a really unique idea done very well, right? And because he's like a wrestler, right? You'll see him use like really flashy moves, and then the thunder just adds to that. And so back to my point on Valstrax. The reason why Valstrax is so interesting is because, I mean, like I said, it's like a jet airplane dragon who uses his wings to like slam you down, and he's one of the fastest monsters in the game. Oh, now going for the two-piece with chicken and fries. And you can see here, he's like, look at him, he does the huge dive bomb attack that will probably one-shot me. I don't know how much damage it does in this game, but in Rise it did pretty much one-shot you. Oh my god, that was sick. Oh, I made him mad. Another reason why these... Whoa, he goes for the two-piece when he's not mad? That's a new one. He's only supposed to do that in Rise, bro. Another reason why these monsters are so good and people like them a lot and the hunts are so fun. The moves are fun to dodge, that's the thing. They're fun to play around. You have him going crazy, but he gives you a lot of opportunity to go crazy back. And what I mean by this is, like, with push and pull or risk and reward, there's a certain level of risk factor when you're dodging the attack and a reward for when you decide to attack. And a lot of the times what ends up happening for many monsters is the risk factor is entirely gone because they're gonna go crazy and you just have to wait until they start panting or something, and then you can start attacking maybe once or twice. So there's no really risk or reward in that case, and that's why a lot of the early game hunts fall flat on their face. And that's the reason why stuff like countering is actually a pretty good example of risk versus reward, because the entire risk is if you miss the counter, you take the full hit with no compromises. But if you get the counter, there's so much reward there. So conceptually, I think a monster has to be just conceptually interesting, something new, something unique, you know. So that's one thing, right? They keep a foot in reality, but also they kind of go towards like the fantasy aspect. Like let's just do something like crazy, unique. Dude, that hit me from all the way over there. You can see with Valstrax's moves, they cover a lot of area and they're quick. right? So you have to be on your toes. You have to kind of be careful around him. You have to be careful about your positioning, which is honestly a lot of what Monster Hunter is just like positioning yourself around the monster properly. You're gonna do this. Well, you're doing this a lot more than you did in Rise. Oh my god, my cats got destroyed! Oh my god, my cats got destroyed so bad. Because you notice that the way that Valstrax attacks ends up putting you right in the way of the best hit song. And so to kind of avoid making countering him be kind of broken is he goes for a lot of double hits, you notice. Okay, so if you counter the first one, you need to be ready for the second one. And there's still a way to counter it. It's not like you can't counter it properly, right? But it takes a little more thought and skill. Oh, okay, and my cat got him. Nice. So he keeps up with the hunter. That's the thing. That's another reason why like all the best fights will kind of strike that good balance of keeping up with the hunter. And I think the final thing that kind of matters in making a hunt good is just the story behind the monster, you know. And you see a lot of the favorite monsters are the flagship monsters because they have a lot of story behind them. But also like some of the bosses, final bosses. And by characterization, I mean more like making the monsters feel more like characters, you know, they have their own like wants, they have their own like personalities, they have their own stories, right? You have the Zenogres that come down I believe it's the Sacred Pinnacle because of Amatsu, and they kind of terrorize the towns and everything because of their own issues, so that kind of thing. I did it! Yay, definitely did not cart because I was not paying attention. Is it is it promoting AI? Bro! What is this? Why? I'm so glad they don't do this in the recent Monster Hunters. What is this, man? This is so weird. Pretty fun game. I think Rise is better. It's good. It's very slow, which is kind of goes back to the thing I was talking about is the reason it's so hard to get into this like franchise is because it starts off really slow. It doesn't really teach the player anything. It doesn't really give them anything to like hook onto, you know. The hook comes later on. When you get hooked, I'm sure a lot of the Monster Hunter fans know this, but when you get hooked, you get hooked. But it comes very late, and you have to be persistent, especially with this kind of game. They should focus on making the early game monsters good as well, because otherwise it's hard to keep your attention. But there are good hunts in here. There is a lot of fun you can have, and I feel like Rise is the reason why Rise kind of works as the best newcomer game is because you get to the good stuff the fastest. You know, it's the fastest pace, you know. And also just the fact that I feel like the game starts too easy. Well, in Rise especially, the game starts too easy and it's hard to feel a challenge. Like the challenge is necessary for any game to be kind of interesting. But yeah, that's kind of my opinion on Monster Hunter. I hope it changes for the new game.